Welcome to the McAllister Report. We join John McAllister, top football evaluator, as he shares wisdom and interviews coaches and athletes from around the country. Enjoy today's podcast.
Hello, this is the John McAllister Report. I'm John McAllister, and today my guest is the newly signed head football coach at Ashland University, Doug Geiser. Doug has been a friend of mine for a long time. A lot of coaching talk and a lot of recruiting talk. And he's been at Ashland, I think, for 19 years maybe. But he's excited. I'm excited for him. And I'm very much looking forward to talking all different areas. Now, it's a little bit long interview, but, I really enjoy it. And we talk about a lot of different things. And he is so ready for this football job at Ashland University. Lee Owens retired and Doug has been moved up. So if you would just sit back and enjoy my podcast with the new head football coach at Ashland University, Doug Geiser. My guest today, as I said earlier, is Doug Geiser, the new assigned head football coach at Ashland University. And I'm excited, and I'm sure he is. Mm-hmm. So let me be one of the first on video to congratulate you.
I appreciate that. Thanks, John. That means a lot.
You've done a lot, and I have so much respect for you, and I will tell you a couple of stories later on. But let's talk about just what's going on in the last week, roughly. Okay.
Basically, I was offered the job and accepted it Friday morning at 9:30. Our athletic director, Al King, called me, and before he could even finish the sentence with offering it, I accepted. Yeah. And it's a job I've worked for and been trained for, and was hoping would come at some point. And I'm blessed that got Lee's endorsement, and now obviously the endorsement of the president and the athletic director too.
Now be careful. I don't know if you can train to be a head coach, just so you know.
Okay.
I hate to burst that bubble because I was a head coach when I was too young.
Okay.
I don't know, Coach, if you can train. Before we get started, a couple of things. First of all, let's talk about background.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed because you started as an assistant coach and a high school coach.
Yeah.
And real quickly, I want to say there, I saw did you graduate from Triway?
Yeah. I graduated Triway and was fortunate enough to have my first year of coaching at Triway too.
Yeah. I saw that. My only problem, and we're probably not going to agree here, but I was at West Holmes back in the 70s.
I've known you forever. I didn't know that.
And I got so sick of that purple. Oh, my golly. Purple every place. I got so sick of seeing that. We live south of Shreve.
Okay. So
we did business in Shreve, the grocery and all those places.
Yes.
Oh, my, I got so sick of that purple. Okay. So where did you go after that then? Real quick. You go quickly.
Yeah. Well, I got the opportunity with Joe Studer when he was in his last year at Triway, and I coached linebackers, varsity linebackers, and was a freshman defensive coordinator. The DC, Brett Cook, got the job at Liberty Benton, so he asked me to go along with him. So I was his defensive coordinator and offensive line coach with Liberty Benton, and then from there, Brett got hired by Greg Gillum at Brush. So then with Brush, Greg hired Brett to be his defensive coordinator. And I kind of tagged along. I was offered the head coaching job at Liberty Benton, but I wasn't ready. After 2 years of high school, I was not ready.
Okay.
And I knew that. So I ended up doing some grad classes at John Carroll. And I was fortunate enough that Greg hired me to be his offensive line coach and coordinator at some point. And then, it was a great mentors all the way around with Brett and Joe and Greg.
I would agree. I think Joe is pretty – I coached against him, and I did a scrimmage, and I forget Was he at Arcadia maybe?
Yes, he
Okay.
was. Yes.
We scrimmaged at Arcadia. Very intense, very good guy.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah. Good people. Good people. Yes.
Excellent. And of course, all those guys are. And I would tell you one more thing. I'd go back to Dr. Martinelli because that's what I remember. Then I know you know this, but you're following some good guys.
Oh, I'm honored and humbled.
Coach Keller was such a good guy.
Yeah.
And Lee is obviously a great guy, and I've known him for years and years as well. So I'm excited about you stepping in. And I think I did a little research. I think it started in 1920, and you're the 15th head coach, I think.
15th head coach, and that counts. There were two co-head coaches in 26 maybe. So actually the 14th seat, but the 15th overall. Yeah. In 102 years. In 102 years, that's not bad.
No, that's not too bad at all, and it's really great. I would tell you one more story, and I think you and I have known each other a long time, and I think what has always impressed me, and I'm critical of guys that do your business, that coach and do my business. Wherever we would see each other at any game, we would talk. We'd evaluate, but as we talked a little, not all the time, we were always, both of us, watching the field. And I thought that was so neat of you because you would talk. And we both watching our players that we were looking at. And I think the other thing real quickly with that is I remember you would always, I had to look at the Division I guys probably.
Yeah.
And you were looking at a lower Division I, Division II, not only Division II, but you would say, and I forget where we were. You said, well, I like him and I think we can develop him. And I thought the key word is develop there, Coach. Develop. And, we don't do that anymore, I don't think. I mean, a lot of people don't. You want that instant product. But those two things, and that's why I think you're going to be successful, by the way, because of you can joke around, you can do all this stuff, but you're still thinking about it and you're intense. And I know that.
I appreciate that. And yeah, I've run into many games through the years, as you know. And, the two places I've been, the last two places I've been, be it at Akron in the MAC and being at Ashland in Division II, it's all about development at that point. We're not going to get the ready-made products. And so you need to be able to speculate a little bit and kind of project. And if you can't, I don't think you can coach at this level.
No, you got to be able to, we can talk all night on this stuff, but you got to be able to see through and see kids.
Yeah.
I thought Matt Campbell is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Fickle, Luke in his own way, really good. Okay. Tell me about the new conference. Tell me, nobody really knows for sure. Tell me about the Great Midwest Athletic Conference. Let's do that first.
Yeah, if you knew the GLIAC beforehand, the GMAC is basically the old GLIAC South, which is basically all of the private schools from the GLIAC previously. Okay, so you had Hillsdale and Northwood and us, Findlay, ODU, Tiffin, Walsh, and Lake Erie.
Right.
Now, it also includes Kentucky Wesleyan. Okay. So it's a very competitive conference. A lot of old rivalries through the years that developed. Findlay's the oldest rival we have in the state of Ohio. It's the oldest Division II rival. But when Bill Conley was at ODU and he built that program, that became a rivalry as well with ODU. And when Gary Goff and now Chris Reiser at Tiffin. And then obviously the oldest, it's actually a trophy game, is Hillsdale. When Hillsdale and Ashland were in the GLIAC together, they were the two schools most alike. So we actually play for the traveling trophy. That's a trophy game for us.
Now, did you tell me is Hillsdale in the new conference?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Okay, I thought that.
Yeah,
I thought that. Yeah. And stuff. Okay, with that being said, what do you see briefly on the landscape as far as college football?
It's a little scary right now with the NIL and the portal, and I think we're still trying to wrap our head around what those things mean. And I don't know, just on the portal first, is it just as I was preparing to take this job, And within the past year, you kind of, when you're on the road recruiting, you have a lot of time to think.
Right.
And just trying to wrap my head around the portal, and it's a little scary because are there legit reasons for being in the portal? I think yes. If you're a graduate student, by all means.
Right.
If you're a walk-on that is not going to earn money, by all means.
Right.
But if you're a scholarship player that doesn't want to compete, I have a hard time with that. I mean, what are we teaching the kids?
Right.
We're not teaching them grit, and we're not teaching them how to grind and how to compete. And, I mean, there are exceptions, obviously, but, you looked at it, and I was like, how do you combat it? And how do you prepare for it? And the only thing I came up with is this, and I learned this from the guys I grew up with. You make it about more than just football.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough, I've learned that from the Greg Gillums and the Joe Studers and the Brett Cooks and the Lee Owens. And we've always made it about more than just football. And I think you're still not going to be perfect and not lose kids to the portal. But I think if you attack it from that direction, you're not going to have the attrition you normally would.
And we talk about Division II, and I think people are associating the portal with Division I player, but it happens in Division II.
Yeah,
when
scary.
you develop a boy and somebody comes calling. I know that happened at Findlay a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
and the guy is at Purdue defensive back.
Yeah,
Nobody recruited him out of high school except Findlay. I mean, maybe no Division I schools. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
No Division I schools. So it's broken, and I just worry. I have my own thoughts, and this isn't what it's all about today. But I just worry about it, and I just think of it. And then when you start doing that, you're going to talk about money, and that's going to hurt you guys a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, and we're fortunate enough. We have some small NIL deals. We have some boosters that want to give back, and it's not the extravagant $1 million contracts. It's not, but it might be, something to maybe help with incidentals or something with that. But it's a whole can of worms that I think was opened up by people that don't have to worry about policing it.
For sure, and they didn't want to mess with it.
Yeah,
they don't want to mess with it.
Yeah,
I think and I think, by the way, when you talk scholarships, to me, one of the biggest things, misnomers or whatever, is that kids on scholarship, everybody thinks these guys go out and have all the money to eat in all these big places and not party, but go to movies all the time. And they don't.
No. In Division II, you got 36. That's all you got, and there's hardly anybody on a full ride. Yeah. And if it is, it's a combination of athletic, academic, and maybe Pell and OCOG. I mean, so it's not a full athletic scholarship.
How do you perceive? Obviously, this is a silly question, but how do you perceive the team's going to see you in a different light now? How do you handle that?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a guy that never puts on false airs. I'm going to be me. Be me. And one advantage I have is I've recruited a lot of the guys. I've been in their homes. I know them intimately. Even as a position coach, I would still make it a point to meet everybody on the team. And that's key. I would always pride myself on, maybe the guy on the staff would know everybody on the team. And when you got a roster of 150 plus, that's a challenge. It can be a challenge, but I'm always a guy, and I like to be able to give you your name. If I can give you your first and last name, that at least, lets you know that I care enough about you to learn your name.
Right.
And engage in conversations. And at base, what we do, I mean, football is the vessel. Yeah, but we're teachers. We're teachers, and we're teaching ethics, morals, values, how to grow up and be a mature young man. That's what we're doing. And football is just the vessel. And so for me, are there going to be some more things on my plate? Yeah, there are. But at base, I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be demanding. Now that just the guys that I'm interacting with are not just the offensive line or the offense in particular; it's the whole team.
Yeah. And
I'm looking forward to it because I got a good rapport with a lot of the guys already, and I think it's just going to grow from there. And I'm looking forward to it.
That's really good, Coach. That's really good. Okay, read someplace or heard that right now it's early with staff, but a lot of them are staying, or quite a few of them are staying, or
Yeah,
I mean, some are staying. I don't know what the word is, but
I mean, the staff's agreed to stay intact. We're doing it at least through signing date.
okay.
The big one is Tim Rose. Tim
Yeah.
Rose he's consented to be my defensive coordinator going forward, and I'm blessed by that because Tim's good. He's a pro's pro. He's a coach,
And
and
everybody and kids know him. So I mean,
they know
players
him,
know
and they play their tail off for him.
him.
So as a first-time head coach, it gives me a peace of mind that on that side of the ball, I don't have to worry about it. I can trust him to be the head coach of the defense, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And I know we're gonna be doing things first class and doing things the right way.
Did
And everybody in the offense has consented as well. And we'll obviously evaluate, and as we move forward and get past signing date, we'll get a chance to meet one-on-one and see if their vision to moving forward is the same as mine. I look at it like this: I'm a loyal guy. That's the way I was brought up.
right.
And as a staff, we've achieved great things. And
Okay.
and so far be it for me just to make change for change's sake. If they want to be a part of Ashland football, I mean, it's not about me. It's about Ashland football. If they want to be a part about what we're doing and what the vision is, by all means, I think they have the right of first refusal.
Yeah.
Now, if they don't, then hey, we'll part ways and look to fill the staff. But the one place I do know I need to fill is my position.
Yeah. Yes.
And so I've talked to guys already, and we're looking to bring at least one guy in there, but we'll probably handle that after signing date.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing you said, and I switched jobs a few times, don't change just to change.
Yeah.
Now, maybe add a wrinkle or two, and
Yes.
this, Coach.
Yeah.
You're more experienced than I am. But don't add a wrinkle, but don't change just to change.
Yeah.
And now a little humor here. I thought maybe you'd be pushing your quarterback coach out, but I guess he's going to stay. I mean,
I was actually with him today on the road. We were up in the Cincinnati and Akron area, or no, excuse me, Youngstown and Akron area. And
we're good friends.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think the world of your staff, because I go to your camps, and I also think because the one thing nice about Coach Stacy is that he's down to earth, and he gets it, and he communicates. He's doesn't read something in a magazine and go out and try to change everything.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about then. What do you expect now? The recruits, you've called all the kids that have signed, but you still got to go recruiting now.
Yeah.
And things like that. What can recruits expect from you?
Probably brutal honesty.
Okay.
I like to cut through some of the BS in recruiting. And as coaches, we do a great job of talking a lot and saying very little.
Right.
Okay. And I promise recruits, it's not a class we take. Okay. We don't have to pass that class to do it. But so with me, and it's kind of one of my styles, I like to shoot straight. Yeah. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you and not try to string you along and kind of go from there. And all I ask from them is the same thing. If Ashland's a place they're not going to consider, or they're going to go somewhere else, just let me know.
All right.
But if not, let's build that relationship. Okay. Let's see if I can trust you, you can trust me. You find out what I'm about. I'm find out what you're about. And then, hey, if there's a connection there, then let's talk Ashland football.
Yeah.
Then let's talk Ashland football. So that's probably the biggest thing I always try to do is build that relationship, be honest, and then kind of go from there.
It's what it's all about, Coach, is relationships and trust.
Yeah.
Now, I know that sounds a little hokey and stuff, maybe, but
it works.
Even the business that I do, kids, I know all these recruiting guys, gurus, all these guys. I know these kids better than they do, and they will trust me. I know what goes on because they trust me. And that's just the way. And again, the nice thing about your staff is that the ones I've been around, and you lost a couple I really like, that are just down to earth guys. They don't tell me whatever, but they're just down to earth. Okay. What do you expect from recruits? I guess you've said that. Trust. Is there anything you could add to that? I guess the recruiting part of it.
You know what? Just be real, be respectful.
Okay.
And if there is one piece of advice, I'll go off on a tangent. It's a pet peeve of mine. when they send tape in to us, do not put scrimmage tape. Do not put practice reps. I want to see game reps.
Right.
Okay. It actually turns me off if I see practice or scrimmage reps because I want to see it happen in the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's not a controlled situation. So, just that. And hey, just kind of be yourself. Be yourself when you come here. And, and not everybody fits. Not everybody fits everywhere. And, the thing that recruits sometimes don't realize when they come to visit, they're evaluating us. Yes. We're also evaluating them.
Yeah.
Okay. It goes both ways. And it is about that fit. I mean, I learned from a very wise man that I worked for 28 years. I think we know Lee.
Yeah.
And he always compared recruiting to dating. You got to want the girl's got to want you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what recruiting is. And sometimes it's one way, sometimes it's not. When it's together, that's when great things happen. And we've had a lot of good players that have embraced that philosophy at our place. Yeah.
There's a little bit to that.
Yeah.
I'm done. I love talking with you and football and stuff. We're 21 minutes.
Oh, wow. Hey, we can go as long as you want, John. I'm fine.
People can just turn it off if they don't like it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, Coach. What's I get looked at sometimes. What's the key to being a Division II player? What separates? Boy, I don't think much. What separates a D2 from a D1? Because I always use I'll say he's D1 or D2. I don't say he's always D1 or he's D2, D3. I think there's a tremendous difference. What do you see in that? Talk about now, really, Division II recruits.
In all likelihood, when we start watching tape, and we're not as fast as the Division Ones. We're not on the same schedule. Okay, so we're full fledged into 2023 right now. We won't even really look at 2024 probably until April,
Right?
May at the latest. There, okay.
Right.
And as we're watching tape, one of the first things I would say is this: most Division II scholarship players are not offers off of junior tape.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just real. If there's a kid that's an offer off of junior tape, he's probably going to have multiple Division I offers. That's real because there's so much growth and development that happens between junior year to senior year. Size wise, intelligence wise, maturity wise, whatever that it is, that's what happens there. So a lot of times, getting the answer to your question, then. A lot of times it would be maybe they're an inch shorter if you're an offensive lineman. Maybe you're 6'2" as opposed to 6'4", 6'5". Okay. You might have the same abilities, but at some point physics takes over.
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
If you're a corner or you're a receiver, maybe you're a 4'6" as opposed to a 4'5". Not the 4'4s. Everybody says, well, he's a legit 4'4". Another pet peeve. I've only seen a handful of legit 4'4s in my life. Okay, they're not. Okay, they're not. But anyway,
real quick interject there.
Yeah,
I see these kids put down 4.5, and they actually go and put down 100 meters 11.3.
Yeah, it doesn't correlate.
And I would tell them, well, you must coast that last 50 meters in. If he hit 4.5, and then he's 11.3.
Yeah.
And kids don't understand. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. That's fine. That's fine. So probably the biggest thing between Division II and Division I are the measurables.
Yeah.
The measurables initially. Now, it doesn't mean you can't develop into it.
Right.
I'll give you a quick story. You remember the name Tommy Brenner from Orville?
Yeah.
Great, tremendous player for us. Okay. Yeah. In Tommy's senior year, he went to over 10 camps, he told me, in the summer before his senior year.
Yeah.
Okay. You're talking a 2-time All-State receiver, free safety, 6'2", 205 pounds. He's a dude.
And from Orville.
Orville. Yes. Yeah. From Orville.
Oh.
And well, the thing was, at some of those kids, you can get camped out by going to too many camps.
Right. For sure.
Everybody gets all the numbers. I don't know how. I don't ask how, but everybody gets all the numbers. Near the end of the summer, he's running consistent mid 4.7s, which is good, but okay, you're a receiver, you're a free safety, run a 4.7. With as fast as recruiting's gotten, people aren't willing to speculate or project anymore. They want the sure thing.
Right.
He got overlooked.
Right.
If we would have still been at Akron, we would have signed him. He would have played a lot of football for us.
Yeah.
But people get out of that business. So we were fortunate enough he came to Ashland. Well, guess what? The 6'2", 205 became 6'2", 230 by the time he was a senior.
Right.
And oh, by the way, the 4.75 became a 4.55.
Yeah.
And he was probably one of the most dominant defensive players in the GLIAC his senior year,
Yeah.
but just because he developed. So, like I said, we're not going to get the ready-made guys, but what you got to project is a skill set, okay? And then, oh, by the way, you got to project, does he have the work ethic, the want to? Does he love football? Does he love the process to be able to develop?
Right.
So that's,
for sure.
that's probably the biggest thing, I see is that. And you got to, and once you find them that might have the skill set or the physical package, now you got to look at the other portion of it.
Huh.
Okay. Is he going to develop? What's the bust factor?
Right.
What's the bust factor at that point?
Right. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Coach, I really appreciate it. It started out as just a congratulations to you and stuff and talk to you, but we get into a little bit of definitely your knowledge and definitely your thoughts. Mm-hmm. Geiser, I really appreciate the time. I really appreciate the sharing. And I think that kids need to look at Division II schools for sure. And I think Ashland's a great one to look at. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that, John. Appreciate it.